Good morning. Oh, forgot to open up the desktop. Good morning, good morning. Let's see what we got today. YYGH, the top leading gainer. Near high of day right now. Looks really choppy, this chart. Does not look clean at all. Pretty nasty. It pops up to 240 and then gets slammed back down to 225. This chart, sending me all kinds of warning signals here. Yeah, I can see news on it. This is news from yesterday. Morning, Goku. Says 5.94 million second financing tranche and cancels all outstanding warrants. Get rid of all the drawings. The DIAC is potential for continuation. Its relative volume is a little bit lower at this point, but this is its third day of continuation. No trades yet. Inconceivable. So let's throw YYGH on a side chart, I guess. The chart's looking really not that great, but I suppose I should be watching it in case it decides to pull away at 7 a.m. This one is sending me all the warning signals. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, this is a grinder. Not even the 7 a.m. pop could make it move very much. Very thickly traded. Got a huge topping tail on the 1 minute now. DAIC is actually moving here. I think it needs a little bit more time to break this descending resistance. Could be wrong. Good morning. Morning, Grace. Yeah, it looked like it did need more time. Oh, that don't ruin the chart. Morning, Xenos. Was it the one that got up to 16? I don't think it was. No, I think that was a different stock. Morning, Momentum. All right, so looks like we're waiting for something fresh. Well, at least if this 5-minute candle doesn't close red, then it won't be too bad, but it's still pretty bad. Morning, momentum trader. I gotta make a new video title every morning to convince myself to stop hesitating on these trades. If I get an opportunity, I will try to be a little bit more aggressive today. We'll see if it works out or not. The slightly different mindset, but might end up being red. But taking action is better than taking no action. Morning, Rafi. Doing all right today. We just gotta wait for something fresh. Oh, nice. After hours been pretty good recently. I see that there's all these after hours moves happening here. Like the AIC moved again from 4 up to 650. Seems like on a bit better volume than usual. Morning, Bob. Oh, you mean like you're trading smaller share size just to avoid the hesitation? Yeah, I could do that too, but I'm already trading with pretty small size. But I suppose if I'm still having a problem, then that's the only way is go down even further until it's not a problem anymore, or it's barely a problem. So it failed previously at 618. Hmm. It's trying. Fix your high of day. Big seller there. I think we're extended. I was 688. We got 50 seconds left on that 5-minute candle. This is kind of looking like an ABCD on the 1 minute. I'm just a little bit worried about the popping tails. 10 seconds left on that candle. New high is 56. Take a position, stop is 45. I'm gonna scalp out here. It's moving very slow. See if it breaks 88 or if it just rejects. Yeah, a lot of topping tails up here. That's a tweezer chop on the 5 minute. So, unless it just randomly squeezes and breaks through hive day, I think this is probably done. Yeah, it's coming down now. So if I had drawn this, I'd initially drawn this more sideways ascending support line. That was the most obvious support line. But I should have drawn this second ascending support line a bit earlier. If I had drawn it earlier and had paid more attention to it, this is a little bit more of an obvious breakout spot. But it didn't change the fact that this was a previous rejection spot. Maybe I should have taken a position as it was squeezing back up and reclaimed that wick. But I don't know. These curling patterns are a little bit rough sometimes. Like this candle did fill the wedge. That squeeze was a 5-minute candle close that filled the wedge. Oh, yeah, I don't know. Probably should have taken a position. There was a decent micro pullback that I could have taken one right here as it broke that descending resistance. First candle make a new high at 618. Gotta be quick. Yeah. All right, so let me read some comments. Forgot to switch from paper to live. I banked a good profit. Hey, the process is what matters, not the profits. You think I should increase my stock size? I'm in my comfort zone. That's why I'm not pushing myself hard enough. Well, I I'm going to push myself in a different way. Instead of increasing my stock size, I'm gonna try taking more trades in general, not like on different setups that aren't good quality setups, but I did some VOD review yesterday. We'll see how it works out. My idea for helping me take more trades. And it will push me. So what is CDTG? Broke high of 135. We're on the backside of this big volume. Chinese stock, no news. Cheaper price, I'm good. No, thank you. This is gonna be Chop City on the way up. good that you guys got some profit on it. Stop that. Oh, what is this? 725 news. Closes acquisition of majority stake. Fuel the future of data centers. Oh, it's got the data center keyword in it. NEXR. Israel company. Getting some volume, but terrible stock. Is this that maybe I gotta start like putting these on an ignore list. Or I need to add stock notes. Because I always forget which are the stocks that are just terrible. Yeah, this is Jeff's brand. So let's see. Is there a notes column? I'll have to figure that out later. Yeah, what everyone in chat said. There's a few notorious stocks that are just pop and drop stocks, especially if you zoom out on the daily too. You can usually tell what type of stocks they are. This one's high is all the way up at 700,000 because it just constantly does reverse splits and it releases so much fluff news that nobody trusts it anymore. Because it does that old cycle where it does a reverse split and then it sells into the move. Like it releases fluff news and then it sells into the liquidity. Probably not, Adrius. I'm sure short sellers love that stock whenever it pops up. That thing is like a guaranteed win. I'm sure that they even punched the button before they even read that NEXR is going to fuel the future of data centers. They didn't realize how in danger they were, apparently. All right, well, it's 7:30 and we only had fluff news. I don't really have anything else on watch right now, I don't think. I think YYGH is too choppy. The AIC needs a long period of consolidation if it's going to continue. Might also just be done with that big tweezer top. These other top leading gainers are just selling off. One's got a higher float too. decent returns with a $500 start. Um, well, what point are you at in your journey? Like, are you coming out of a simulator, for example? Because if you're coming out of a simulator and you think you have good results, um, then you're probably going to end up getting a slap in the face. Sorry to say, it's just kind of how it is with the market. But if you're an experienced, profitable trader, been trading for a while, which um, probably isn't the case since you're saying you only have $500. Let's say you are a profitable trader, then yeah, you can use leverage with 500 bucks, and depending on where you are, if you're in the US, you get 6 times leverage. You can build that up fairly quickly, but leverage isn't something that I would recommend for a beginner. So if you're coming out of a simulator, I think you might end up with a rude awakening if you're trading with live money for the first time. So it's good that you're only trading with $500 if that's the case. Yeah, so it's not about money when you're first starting out, like when you're first trying with a live account. Um, in my opinion, you tried it before last year, but you really want to get into it. Yeah. So in my opinion, um, if you're not familiar with trading, like if you have no experience, you say you've tried it before last year, so you probably have some experience. But I think trading with a simulator first is important to get a feel for the execution and feel for the market, and just like be able to trade without worrying about losing your entire account, just to get the reps in, right? Trade the patterns, learn the setups, do a lot of learning. Simulator is a learning environment. But once you have a little bit of confidence with the simulator, you have some confidence in the strategy that you're trading, and you have a plan, then you can go to live money with 500 bucks. Just understand that that $500 that you're putting in is probably going to get lost. Like whatever goes into that account for the first time when you're just coming out of a simulator as a beginner, like that's throwaway money. That's money that you're going to lose that you have to be comfortable losing, because the market's going to give you a slap in the face. That's very important. When you're trading with emotions and you're trading it with real live liquidity for the first time, you're not going to make decent returns. You're going to end up losing that money. And it's important to understand that as a beginner, rather than thinking that trading is some sort of get rich quick scheme. It takes a lot of effort, learning, and a long period of dedication to make any decent returns. So it's important to start with throwaway accounts and then build that account up as you gain consistency. Yeah, beginner's luck and false confidence, that's a problem too. CRE popping up. Record number customers served. Well, this is moving quickly. Hong Kong company, 200 moving averages at 6. It's a really far pullback. This price action I don't like. 529 was the high. Hmm. I'm surprised that this is even going. Oh boy. So high was 790. Low was about 612. We'll take a position. Stop is 675. Looking for the squeeze back up. So that's a bit of a problem that I had something pop up on my screen there. Not sure if you could see it on stream. I was going to scalp out at 7. I got distracted. Like at 7:10 as it popped up there. So that was a really, really bad loss, 70-cent loss, because I had something pop up on my screen as I took that position. And I was worried it was going to affect my sell order. Even though it was just 50 shares, it's not a good start for 50 shares. Yeah, I filled up too high as well. I should have filled closer down to 670. $7.16. One minute left on that 5-minute candle. Wow, that popped up fast and then rejected just as fast. I was 825. Okay, so first candle make a new high is 740. Low is 694. Take a position, stop of 725. Now I have to get back out. Trade zero is lagging as well, which isn't good. So I thought that since we held that 694 $7 level, that this would be like a cup and handle and we'd retest the highs. But it just ends up rejecting. I'm very close to max loss here as well. So my first buy intended to be first candle to make a new high from 675 all the way up to 725 and scalp out. But one, I got filled too high because I hotkeyed in instead of using my normal buy order, and I got filled all the way up at 7. Second, I had something pop up on my screen because I think that when I hotkeyed in, instead of using the enter button, I was probably clicked on my search bar or on something else when I hotkeyed in because I had something pop up and it distracted me. So by the time I got rid of the pop-up and hotkeyed back out on the bid, I was down 70 cents. And then on this right here, I mean, this trade was fine, I think. We had that pop there. Let's see, 751.06. Yeah, we had this pop here after it popped up, held the 9 EMA, and I thought I was gonna continue higher because we had a kind of a doji candle there after it popped, tested high of day, and then held. My max loss is about 50 bucks. The most frustrating thing for me though isn't the losses. Like I'm okay with the losses, but the frustrating thing for me right now is that I didn't take a position back here for the break through that 529 level. I said I was going to take action today, and then I hesitated on that. Yeah, I was watching it. It's when we're fluctuating in like 50-cent ranges that I'm hesitating. I don't know. I think maybe I need to just buy a smaller share size or something for these bigger fluctuations. Like I sit down in the morning, I tell myself I'm going to take action. I do take action on DAIC, I get 10 cents, and then the one opportunity that matters, I don't, and then it goes up almost $2 a share. It did go up $2 a share. This happens like every day at this point where I sit down, I take action, I get comfortable, and then once something starts moving, I don't take the buy on the position that matters. Getting old, needs to change. There's well, maybe I should keep watching this for what it's gonna do here. 825 was this previous rejection high. I'm close to max loss, but I shouldn't let that affect my thinking. MACD's close to crossing over. 750 is 5-minute first candle to make a new high. $771. Morning, J Leo. We pop through. Do we hold 8? MACD's still negative. Now we're double topped at 825. Yeah, I'm just looking at my missed opportunities tally, right? I've been taking tally since July 27th. I'm probably, like, if you include today, did I include yesterday? I did. Probably one or two missing there. I'm almost at 40, which is disgusting. It's been a month, about 5 weeks since I've been keeping tally, trying to improve on this behavior, and it's not improving. I feel like there's something that I need to do. I probably need to take a different measure, like you guys said. What I'm going to do from now on here to try and break this habit is I'm going to take 20 shares in every trade, and I'm going to be taking more trades. But not on bad setups. On stocks that I think are going to work. And I'm going to try and scalp in and out as well at the same time. Well, the problem is that, like, because I'm placing so much emphasis in my strategy on like 1 to 3 opportunities per day, there's so much pressure to get that perfect opportunity. Sorry, Senos, I didn't see your question. When a stock initially breaks out, how many 1 minute candles should we give it to ensure it doesn't just flush? It just depends on the momentum. If there's a lot of volume coming in, um, and it's moving very quickly, I don't think that there's a certain amount of 1 minute candles. Like, pretty much just as soon as you see a setup. Ross sometimes, like, it depends on market sentiment as well. Ross sometimes during a really hot market will just punch very small share size, like right on the pop if it goes up 50%. And even if it pulls back at the moment that it pops and it goes down 50 cents and it bases out, he waits till it bases out for a proper setup to actually add any real share size. So I think the answer to that question is if you want to chase it and make sure you're doing it with small size. But if you are looking for a proper setup, first to ensure that it doesn't flush if you're not sure about it in a colder market, then I would wait for a proper setup. And there's not necessarily a certain amount of 1 minute green candles. It's just whenever it has volume and it's in traders' focus. This isn't particularly a stock that I can trade. In our fifth leading gainer spot now, but too grindy, I think. His stop losses are not as tight. That's being an intuitive trader, and it's very difficult for us to be intuitive traders in that sort of way. Like for me, if I hold with a 50-cent stop, how do I guarantee that the stock is going to go up $1 a share? Because I need it to move $1 a share more often than not if I'm going to be setting a larger stop. Even worse than that is that if my execution isn't very good, and like let's say he sets a bigger stop, but he also adds to his positions, right? So he has that little bit of advantage that he can add to the positions as they're squeezing up, which is also why he can hold it for a bit longer. If I take a position and I hold it with a 50-cent stop, and it only goes up 50 cents, I have a 1-to-1 risk reward. If I don't add to that position so that I can double that risk reward. Gary trying to curl back up. It takes an incredible amount of discipline if you start having the mindset that you're going to hold your positions longer. I mean, I theoretically could, right? Like I could set a 50-cent stop. I mean, I have enough discipline to do that. But I don't know. That's like I feel like most of the time that's my risk reward is going to be terrible. I mean, a bigger stop would put less pressure on me to find the perfect entries. I mean, that is true. But we'll see what this does here. This if this comes back down and retests VWAP, this could be sub VWAP trap squeeze. Right here, I'm not a buyer, but if it retests VWAP, maybe breaks below it and then gets bought back up, MACD curls positive, we could see a squeeze back up to the highs potentially. Oh, is Ross also red? Is he red in both of his main account and small account? I mean, that doesn't make me feel any better because the reason why I'm red is because of an obvious opportunity that I just didn't take. I don't feel like I should be red. But there's also, interestingly enough, is that there's a butterfly effect in your trading, right? If you start the day with a big green, that affects all of your subsequent choices for the rest of the day. Or if you're red, that affects all of your subsequent choices for the rest of the day. So your first trade matters a lot, and so does your second trade. Or every missed trade matters a lot. If you miss a trade that would have put you heavily in the green, that affects your decisions for the rest of the day. Like, if I wasn't red, like if I was green on this first big trade, would I have taken this 1 minute pullback? Yeah, I probably would have. I should have taken it closer to 670. I got in too high, but I still would have taken the trade. But would I have taken this other trade on the backside here? Or was it? Yeah, I was on this cup and handle. Maybe not. I might not have taken that trade. This was probably a riskier trade, although it felt like it was okay. Like it wasn't a good quality setup. It was just a okay quality setup. Probably wouldn't have taken that trade. Oh, small green and small account. Fact, these still negative. Hundred 110% year over year revenue growth. And we're on the backside of a move here. Non-profitable tingle. Where's your entry? Let me get some locates. At this point, you guys might as well start shorting off of my entries. Good one, Illusion. Sorry to hear that. I don't mind giving people advice. Whether they want to take my advice or not is another question, but legal loophole not to get sued. Well, I got my disclaimer on the stream. I got my disclaimer in the title. Someone's going to sue me someday eventually when they say they can't read. Yeah. When I hesitated on that first trade on CRE as it was breaking through high of day and I watched it go all the way up to 7, I was almost seeing red. For a moment there, I had thoughts of just pressing the button. So I had to take my hands off the keyboard. So we're squeezing up here. MACD's turning positive. I have 782 on that red candle. Low of 750. And this kind of looks like a cup and handle pattern off of 790. Continue holding 750. We'll take a position. Top is maybe like 760. With the squeeze back up to 825. Oh, back out. So let's see. I was thinking maybe if it broke 782, this would be a 1 minute micro pullback, and then we would squeeze back through, but it just rejected. So 772, 788. Have a good one, momentum trader. I only took 20 shares because I'm aware that I have to start just taking opportunities as I see them to get rid of this habit, regardless of whether I win or lose money. At this point, the question is whether I keep trading, right? Because I just reached $53, which is max loss. The answer is probably no, but something I need to keep working on consistently. So I'm gonna hang around, but I'm not gonna take any more trades. Really, really frustrating today. I know that I should be doing better. This is not good performance. But what can you do? Show up every day and eventually get better. Running flip flop. Performance by attempts on the same ticker. I don't think I have those metrics in TraderView. Well, I know that my winning days and my losing days are like extraordinarily different. I don't feel like I get tilted though. Like I get upset, but I continue trading the process, right? Like I don't. So it's very difficult for me to understand why my winning days and losing days are so different because I'm just kind of taking the opportunities as they come, usually. It used to be that, yeah, I would get frustrated and then I would trade the backside of the move. And I did only realize that recently is that I would be trading a lot of curls. So maybe my understanding of opportunities on the backside was not so good. I mean, that's changed a little bit since I've looked more into that. Today, though, I mean, I actually wouldn't be at max loss today if I didn't fumble that second trade, right? So, like this trade right here was actually a decent trade if I actually got in at 670 and then I scalped out without a window popping up on my screen. So the negative $34 trade would have been a winning trade. And then, I mean, yes, maybe I did get tilted on taking this other trade right here, 729. Third trade was probably a tilt trade. Second trade was still fine, but I would be green on the day on the second trade. And then this last trade right here, I mean, this is MACD turning positive with potential cup and handle for first candle to make a new high. It was okay. Hey, what's up, POW? What's my year-to-date P&L? Um, Before last week, it was actually like break even. After last week, we're... Ooh, that's a nasty drop. After last week, we had one of our worst red weeks that we've ever had since we started live streaming, and that brought us back down. That was like a negative, almost a negative $200 red week. We had $5 green day on Monday, $5 green day on Tuesday, just being very careful, and then we messed up our trades today. So we're probably down close to where our drawdown started when we started going back on uptrend, probably like close to minus $300. Yeah, I do get a bit bummed, but I try not to let that affect my trading. Maybe it is. I don't realize it, but whoever did that. Hey, well, Flip Flop just showed up in the chat. I think we all know who did that. That's a flip flop candle right there. I've been training for 13 months, almost 13 months. He hasn't even taken a trade yet. This is on the backside of a move. AMIX. Announcement of Galatron AI Factory, modular AI data center platform. Interesting. Have a good one, the Fisk. Yeah, his strategy is very hard. Have I ever played Diablo 2? I played Diablo 3. I'm not going to trade this. It is moving, but let's see. I'll verbalize my entries if I take entries on this. So high is 415. Higher volume selling candle. 14 seconds left in that 1 minute candle. So that would have been an entry right there for the breakthrough 4. Yeah, sellers, I'd probably exit right there on those sellers popping up. High 440. Pretty choppy. So if I were trading and I took a position for the breakthrough 4, I might have scalped out like 20 cents. Can't say that I would have gotten a top wick because it pops up to 440 and then it pulls back to like 450 and 420. Not to say that I couldn't have gotten filled high either. Full round trip. Kind of crazy. You played the original D2? Yeah, I never played D2. Um, I mean, my very first game was League of Legends, I think. Yeah, I played League of Legends all the way back when it first came out. I think I have like the 2009 or 2010 badges back when I first played League. And then I played WoW. I think I played WoW and End of Wrath of the Lich King is when I first started that. And then I took a break after Cataclysm, I think, to play Diablo 3, if I remember correctly. Because I didn't like Pandaland. Pandaland was dumb. I played Path of Exile. I played most of the games that you guys are mentioning. Gaming gaming used to be my passion before it kind of got ruined by capitalism and microtransactions. I'm 30 years old. Yep, I got a job. I gotta get off after market open usually to go work my job. I did some competitive FPS with my friend. I never got Gladiator and Arena because I played Warrior, and Warrior was never really that popular back in Cataclysm, but I got 2200 at least. Most of these games I try to get pretty high rank in them, but gaming these days, I haven't really been gaming that much. It's just it's all the same games for the past 10 years, all the same. Everyone has their home game and they kind of just play that, and most of them have gotten pretty messed up. Not very much fun anymore. Yeah, and in tax. Yeah, I played OSRS a long, long time ago. I used to play it. Arc Raiders? No, I didn't like Arc Raiders. Rainbow Six? I took a good jab at Rainbow Six as well. Back before there were so many operators. There's so many operators in Rainbow Six now. It's kind of ridiculous how many different things there are. It's kind of same way League is right now, where you have champion bloat. And with enough champions or operators, eventually it becomes a game of um, tic-tac-toe. WoW Classic. I never really liked Classic WoW. It was too slow for me. Nice job, HSM. Glad to hear. All right, have a good one. I appreciate that, pal. Glad you guys are sticking around. Even while I'm having probably the worst weeks that I've had in my trading so far. Really busting up my confidence. But I mean, I've gone through this before, right? It's not the first time. And eventually you pull back. If you go through enough face slapping, eventually your face becomes as hard as a rock. All these stocks are, they pop and then they dump. Gary is bouncing off of that level again. It's got some descending resistance. If this keeps holding the ascending support here, and eventually this will be driven, you know, into this wedge. Kind of interesting to watch it play out, but we'll see what happens with it. Yeah, I apologize, Phil. I mean, I don't like to talk bad about other streamers. Um, you know, I want to keep my stream positive where I can. So that's why I'm not really going to answer more questions about Ross or anything. I don't think, and probably won't mention DJ anymore after today. But one thing I will say as my last piece of evidence is that there was a Reddit post uh, a few weeks back, like I think it was the beginning of July, or no, it was the beginning of August. I think it was like August 6th that he pressed the order button too many times, and it showed a rejected order on the screen that showed that he was in a demo account. And somebody actually emailed support with the we will support with the name of the account, and they came back to him and said that it was a simulator account. So we will support confirmed that the account that popped up on the screen when he had his rejected order was a simulated account. And it was timestamped with the live stream, right? In that Reddit post, and I went to it and I saw the account name that was named a demo account. And when I after that stream where we talked about DJ last time, I went back and I looked at that stream from August 6th, more recently, like a couple of weeks ago, to see if that stream was still there. And it wasn't. Like the stream was still there, but he cut out the beginning of his stream. He started it again later in the day and did a voiceover as though he had started later in the day. So he actively removed that portion of his stream that showed that he was trading in a demo account when his order got rejected. So it's not just a matter of like, oh, maybe he's trading in a sim and he's just not talking about it or whatever. He's actively hiding it. And in his comment, like his description, it says real money, right? Real stakes, real money. That's directly in his description. So I'm not going to mention him anymore, but he is. I am almost certain that he's trading in a simulator. And I mean, people like him are why I keep everything on the screen. I keep my level 2 on the screen. I show my, you know, my account name. I mean, it's partially hidden because it's part of my login information, but the first two letters of the name, you can tell that it's not a demo account. There's a lot of people out there that like to pretend that like they're trading with real money when they're actually not, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, if he switches to live and sim and you still like the way he trades, sure, you know, that's fine. I just don't support people that are like he trades fine for a simulator. I don't know how that would translate to real money if he were to trade with real money. Maybe he would be. I don't know. Maybe he would be profitable. Who knows? I just don't support people who are being dishonest. That's all. That's how I feel about it. If he was honest about his sim trading, then I wouldn't have a problem with it. But yeah, I'm not gonna mention him anymore, and I'm gonna try not to mention other content creators as well when people ask me because I don't want the stream to be negative. And for most people, I actually don't know. I can't say with almost complete certainty that they're sim trading or not, or they're scammers or whatever. But we'll leave it at that. What's up, Tig? VCIG is just grinding up here. I'm surprised. It pops up as a nasty rejection. I guess this is a reverse head and shoulders pattern. So kind of like that. Yeah, kind of a lopsided reverse head and shoulders. Holding the 9 EMA really well. 10-second. That's pretty crazy. It keeps going up and up and up. How many green candles is that in a row? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, it's about due for a pullback. Recent reverse split. So if I were trading this today, where would I have bought? I mean, like I said, this could be a reverse head and shoulders pattern for the breakthrough VWAP and this micro pullback here. Maybe right there. Maybe right there for this micro pullback. This was a retest of high of day in a way, the 10-second. But yeah, that probably could have been a buy. I think anywhere else was a bit too risky though. This is it's a problem with hitting max loss is that once you actually have, sometimes you hit max loss and then you actually have good opportunities show up later in the day as well. So if you hit it taking bad trades and then you, or maybe not bad trades, I didn't take bad trades, but I took trades that weren't like clean. They had less chance of working. My third and fourth trade, if I had just waited, then I could be trading this right now. That butterfly effect, once again, of your decision making throughout the day affects your decisions later in the day, or it affects the opportunities that you're allowed to take later in the day. Right? My first trade was good. My second trade, if I had executed it properly, was good. You know, my third and fourth trade, they were okay. They didn't work out. They were okay. But if my first two trades were winning trades, I wouldn't have taken just the okay setups. Then I would be trading this right now. For the curl, but I started reading Thinking in Bets by Annie Duke as one of Ross's recommendations because I finished Atomic Habits, and she kind of talks about that, how everything is a bet, and your bets that you make even in life kind of determine the path that you take. Atomic Habits kind of talks about it too, about how there's like that butterfly effect in your habits, like one good habit can lead to the rest of the decisions that you make throughout the day. You remove the bad habits and focus on the good habits. You wouldn't trade this actually? Well, giving back a good portion of the move does signal weakness, but when it curls back up like this, right? Like it popped up and then it still held this 20 EMA. Curling patterns inherently has signaled weakness in the past if they're not like just a consolidation. But curling patterns are still valid patterns, even though they have signaled weakness. The fact that it's curling back up near high of day means that maybe in some occasions the news is stronger than people thought it was during the initial pop, right? Like it popped and then it dropped, and then people realized, oh wait, this might actually be good news, so it curls back up. Because sometimes you do have that initial panic sell off, and then once it holds and holds up, then that's when we become interested in it. Yeah, I'm max loss. I messed up my second trade really bad. I traded a kind of a bull flag pattern, but I got in 30 cents too high because I used a hotkey to get in instead of my normal way that I get in. I filled 30 cents too high. And then I had something pop up on my screen because I used the hotkey when I think I was moused into my search bar. Either that or I accidentally clicked on something. I don't know. I'll have to go back and look at it in the VOD. But while I was trying to unclick off of it because I was worried that it was going to affect my sell order, it rejected on me down really fast. And then my third and fourth trade were just like, I don't know if I would call them emotional trades, but they were less quality setups. So just a frustrating day because I also missed the initial move on CRE too, the one that moved $2 a share when I should have just pressed the button. It is what it is. We're gonna keep at it. And tomorrow, we still have Thursday and Friday to make up the rest of the week. Have a good one, Justin. Do I grade my setups? Um, no, I take I grade my setups, but I normally only take A quality setups in a cold market, and I will take some B quality setups in a hotter market. But my share size is based off of the ranges and how much I'm risking, not necessarily the grade. In the future, what I do want to do is if it's an A quality setup, I want to take starter positions and then add as they're working. So that I take more size in that way, but I still need more experience for that. But I do grade them. Well, I do my checks before every single trade I take. When something pops up like MSS, I look at price float, the news, what the daily looks like. How do I have an arrow there? What's this? Yeah. I kind of do a quick evaluation in my mind about how good the stock actually is. And this popped up a few days ago, August 19th, on high volume, and it came all the way back down. It's running on negative news. Is that what it stands for? Oh, No, you mean that they eliminate outstanding convertible notes, removing legacy financing overhang. Well, that was yesterday's news. Today's news is that they eliminate all outstanding convertible notes. I probably would need to read the actual news um, details. Well, so convertible notes are like loans from institutions or individual investors that instead of paying the loan back in cash, they pay them back in shares. So what happens is, that would dilute the share pool if those loans actually got turned into shares. So what the news is saying is that they removed those convertible notes. So there's no possibility for those investors or those loaners, not investors, to get paid back in shares and then have those shares sold on the open market, right? So it is good news. But is it that good news? I don't think it's like fantastic news. Yeah, that's what convertible notes are. That's why it matters for the stock market. Yeah, the overnight session. It'll be interesting to see if that affects anything. Some people are saying that it's not really going to do anything other than for swing traders. Like it'll matter for swing traders because there'll be more exposure risk. What made me fall in love with trading? I just got interested in it. My friend mentioned that he was learning how to trade large caps and he was making an AI algorithm or something. And my initial thought about that was trading is extremely risky, right? Like I took a like I said, I have a business degree, so I was aware of like what trading was, but I didn't really think that it was something that someone with my level of risk tolerance could handle. Because I was thinking that I could put money in the market and it was just gambling, right? Like that's what everyone says is that it's just gambling. When my friend mentioned it, I did some research into it because I was concerned. Wasn't very informed, and I ended up finding Ross and realized like, wow, people can actually make money from this. Like other than long-term investing, of course I know about long-term investing, right? I know that you can put money in the market and it just goes up, of course. But I didn't realize that there were people who actively traded the market that could make money on a daily basis and kind of interesting. So I kept reading about it. That was back in July 2025, and I found Ross, and I thought, hey, I'll give it a shot. I opened up a sim account with TradingView, just trading with the buttons, and I thought it was fun. And I thought, because like before before trading, I always wanted to be self-employed, right? Like I didn't want to work for my job forever. I wanted to be self-sufficient, and before that I was trying to do some like video editing for gaming and stuff for my friend, but that just didn't end up working out. So when I saw trading, I thought that maybe it would be another opportunity for some sort of self-employment. And ever since August, I've sat down every day. Like I've missed maybe 2 or 3 days in the past 12 or 13 months trading every day, and it just became a habit at that point, that I enjoyed. I enjoy trading every morning because it's always different every morning. It's like a new puzzle every morning. Yep, I have a Discord in my description. We chat in there. I have my playbook in there, and um, we try to answer each other's questions and stuff. Trading is like a game, but you make money. Well, it's a game, but you lose money. Yeah. Right now, I'm just losing money. It's an expensive game, but I can't say that I haven't spent just as much on League of Legends skins. My League of Legends account is probably worth like $2,000 or more because of all the legacy skins I have on that. And I used to be a skin fiend. Do I set my stop at my daily profit target? No, I don't really have daily profit targets right now. I just take opportunities as they're presented to me. The only thing that I have other than my max loss is if I um reach 1 times my max loss, but I lose half of that back. So let's say my max loss is $50, right? If I earn $50 in a day and I lose half of that back, then I might decide to stop there before I lose any more. Because I noticed that was one of my triggers in the past, was when I would reach a certain amount of money, around 1 times my max loss, and I started losing half that back, then I would start getting a little bit irritated. But I don't have an actual profit target. If things are going well and I'm just making money and making money and making money, there's no reason to stop. Up until my time limit cuts me off. So I probably, like, even if I was not working, I would probably only trade until 10:30 a.m. because stock market becomes really choppy after 10:30 a.m. usually. And then maybe I would consider coming back for power hour. But I set a time limit, right? So 7 to 10:30, like 3.5 hours would be my maximum amount of time that I would trade in any session, about 3 hours. Because you can only sit in front of a computer so long as well before you start becoming exhausted from decision making. And then your discipline might start to slip at that point. So no no like stop, no reason to cap the upside, but there is a reason to cap the amount of time that I trade, and then any other triggers that other people might have. Like for some people, losing half back won't trigger them, and they don't necessarily need that. I think the rules that they put on themselves usually should be for um, whatever triggers they notice in themselves to prevent that, because the rules they trump self-control. Self-control can become really difficult when you're emotionally compromised. So I prefer rules to manage things that I notice about myself, and I prefer habits to trump self-control. Habits for discipline and rules for keeping me from being emotionally compromised in certain circumstances. Do I take a language course? No, I don't take a language course. Oh, yeah. Sorry. I zoomed in on the question and ignored the context. Yeah, anything you do is going to cost something, right? If it's not money, it's going to cost time. And you know what they say, time is money. Yeah, this is curling. Look at that perfect wedge for the Breakthrough View app. That's like a picture perfect wedge. Have I entered into a trade yet? No, no trades today. No trades today. Where is my day realized P&L? No trades. Don't look at it. No, I have trades. Sorry, I'm messing with you. I'm negative $53. So the opposite of smart. this is the only issue that I have with max loss, is that as soon as I hit max loss, suddenly there's just like a billion opportunities throughout the day. As if it's taunting me. Come take a trade. I mean, I probably would have taken the breakthrough VWAP on this wedge from 190 up to 220. I don't know if I would have taken this bull flag. 10 cents on it is okay. And then we had PCIG earlier that I probably would have taken this micro pullback on. That is a possibility. One thing I noticed is that I generally do better in cold markets than I do in hot markets, because in cold markets the stock is very obvious when it holds up and it moves cleanly, but in a hot market it's like trying to saddle onto a bucking bull, even though it might go up 500%. It's got like dollar per share ranges. Sometimes there's things just popping for no reason at all, and it's hard for me to adapt. So that double topped at 229, coming back down. Nice, Asu. Yeah, there seems to be certain issues that each of us struggle with when it comes to trading. We're all different. There's usually something specific that each of us has that we struggle with, whether it's FOMO or averaging down or hesitating to jump into trades, over trading. Certainly certainly a journey to fix our individual issues. What I'm doing myself though, you bought CRA 485, got it at 499. Wow. Is that right before the $2 pop? $2 per share pop. Like all the way back here. Oh man. Yeah. It was rough for me to watch that go without taking a position at all. It's probably infuriating when you actually took the position and then you cut it too soon. Yeah, I want to make a video about discipline, but I want to fix my hesitation habit first. And I'm also making some changes outside in my actual life as well. Some positive changes. So about 2 weeks ago, I started taking a tally of every day I take vitamins in the morning. I make sure I run for at least 2 minutes. It doesn't have to be anything crazy to start. Every day I need to run at least 2 minutes. And then on days where I feel like I want to run more, then I run more. Eventually that'll build up. So we have vitamins in the morning, we have running. Usually after I end work, I go run for at least 2 minutes, 2 minutes at the minimum. And we'll build that over time. And then the last one is reading. So I read at least a few pages of a trading book every single day. We're talking about those 1% things. If I do enough 1% things in my daily life and I do enough 1% things in my trading and I maintain discipline to stick to it, and the tally is kind of that progress report. We're allowed to miss days here and there, but never 2 days in a row. Over time, hopefully those 1% are going to add up. And a year from now, maybe we'll find ourselves in a very different spot. I'm curious to see the kind of changes that I'm going to experience. I keep at it. I'm not going to hold off on my discipline video for a year though, but it's a very important video that I want to make. God, I gotta solve this gosh dang hesitation habit. No, I don't. Um, if I miss a day, I do double the next. And that's actually a good idea. I actually kind of like that idea because it prevents you from if if I miss a day in a row and then the next day I just don't feel like it, then eventually I can't keep compounding that. There's actual detriment to skipping a day. But yeah, prop firms, Since I have a job, I can't trade regular market hours. Prop firms are very restrictive. I assume that most of them would probably want me to trade regular market hours because I know a bunch of them have rules about the times of day that you're supposed to be trading and other rules for like what you're trading and stuff. And I would rather be successful on my own. I don't really want to be reliant on a prop firm. So it's 30 seconds to market open. I mean, if I were to trade market open, what would I be watching? CRE ended up failing that ascending support. And now we're kind of bumping against that ascending support. So I'm not sure what CRE is going to do. DAIC is curling back up, but yeah, it is very risky. You're not wrong, Asu. Oh, nice. Nice 60-cent winner. That was a decent 10-second red to green move where a huge bottoming tail wick. If I were trading this, I might actually be interested for the breakthrough $7 here. If it holds and breaks through 7. I'm just gonna open up the level 2, but I'm not gonna trade it. Um I'm just gonna verbalize my entry. So 25 seconds left on that 1 minute candle. I'd buy right there for the breakthrough 7. I would exit right there because that's a big drop. But there would have been an opportunity to scalp out as it popped up to 725 there. Would have been a small winner. Am I paying the premium subscription? Yeah, I'm paying paying premium, but I got the I I got a 50% discount on the TradingView annual a long time ago, back in November 25. So, speaking of which, there's also another sale going on right now for TradingView. I think they're up to 80% off. Like it's not 80% for all of the packages. I think it's 80% for the ultimate, probably 70% for premium for the annual. So that's this week. They're running that sort of discount. So I am considering just renewing with the 70% discount for the annual while it's on discount. But I still haven't decided whether or not to continue trading with charts. Like just let this expire and then trade with Charts Watcher to save money. One thing I forgot to do, I forgot to link my trading view to my broker again so that it shows my entries and exits on screen. But that sort of visual thing is kind of leaning me back towards trading view because it just looks nicer on stream. All right, have a good one, Tex. Like I think trading view just looks nicer on stream. It wastes less space. And even though it has like that 1 second delay, it doesn't really bother me that much. And I also have the option if I actually go full time in the future to trade with a bunch of different time frames. If I want to test out trading regular market hours, if I want to test out trading large caps, then I have the additional time frames. So if I were to buy first candle make a new high here above 708, what would happen? Retest of 740, 708, top of breakdown of 7. I would get stopped out. A lot of topping tails. It's funny, it stops you out and then it goes up 40 cents. Yeah, there it goes. So maybe the stop should have been like VWAP. That's a pretty far stop. So 740 is that obvious pivot level now. It connects to these two 5-minute candles back here. Very nice. What news does OLX have? It had 9 a.m. news, transformational year, expanding energy to compute. It had a nice pullback. It's got some green on the tape there. So if this were to break through 740, then it could see a squeeze back up to the highs. On CRE. As first 5-minute candle to make a new high and break at the pivot. In my opinion. So it's double topping or quadruple topping off of that level, that 740 level. Ooh, nasty rejection. What is OLOX resuming at? 203. It's resuming flat. $1.50 per share is still pretty good. YYGH. Ooh. Have a good one, Baco. OX finally resumes, and it looks like it's squeezing, maybe? That's pretty high volume selling candles. 25,000 shares seller on the ask. As everyone stops, halting down. And it looks like CRE finally broke that second ascending resistance as well, or ascending support. Keep mixing those two up for some reason. Look at XPON go though, from 6 all the way up to 860. Hmm. CRE failed to break down. It broke down, now it's coming back up here. So CRE still has some potential later on if it continues to hold the ascending support and it breaks back through VWAP. XPON is somewhat interesting. It's really extended right now, but I was just interested in these multi-day ascending support, ascending, descending resistance. Both times it dropped below. It dropped below that trend line and then got squeezed up. Dropped below, held, and then squeezed up. I'm just interested in what this is going to do up here on resumptions. Zooming in 29 seconds. It's probably going to need some consolidation if I had to guess. How extended it is. Squeezes from squeezes from 850 all the way up to 9. I guess I was wrong. That's really strong. Right near that previous high of day of 10 now. Crazy squeeze. No, I'm Canadian, so I don't have access to DOS unless I trade with Centerpoint, but Centerpoint requires a $30,000 account minimum. I can't trade with DOS right now. Can't trade with Centerpoint right now while I'm still a beginner. Too risky. So yeah, that's an insane squeeze from 650 all the way up to $10 in a single green streak on the 5-minute. Have a good day, Corey. I think DOS Trader is very similar to TradeZero, by the way. I mean, DOS Trader has a few extra things, like it has direct access routing, for example, so it can connect directly to the NASDAQ, whereas TradeZero only has smart routing. And that the direct routing helps with execution speed, since it doesn't have to go through intermediaries like the smart routing does. Just connects straightly to the NASDAQ. But it's fairly similar otherwise. Yeah, I mean, sorry, it depends on the broker that you're trading DOS with. My apologies. Chimera is right. DOS is just a software, so it depends on what platform you're using DOS with. But Centerpoint has direct routing. Yeah, Chimera's right. But DOS is a pretty good platform, most people say. But yeah, its performance, execution performance and stuff depends on what broker you're with. Yeah, even this bull flag pattern worked 960 up to 1020. Pretty crazy move. All right, I gotta get going here. I'm really interested in market open, so I try to stay as long as I can, but I have to get going to a meeting soon, so time to hop off. It really sucks having another max loss day after last week, and almost entirely due to just execution errors, honestly. Like that second trade should have been green. And then I did get a little bit tilted, I think, but even when I get tilted, I still trade okay setups, but okay setups weren't good enough. We just ended up going further red and then not being able to trade the actual good opportunities later in the day. Like right here could have been an opportunity. Could have had some opportunity on BCIG, could have some opportunity on MSS. Today really stings, so we're gonna have to trade differently tomorrow. Probably gonna trade with 20 shares and trade more. I'll get my recap done today too. I didn't do a recap yesterday because I was too busy, but I'll get both done at the same time, I suppose, later today. But we'll bounce back. We always do. It is what it is. Yeah, have a good day, human Goku. Yeah, what I need to do, I think, is drop down to 20 shares and even do some like hyper scalping, right? Like it doesn't matter what I do. I just need to be taking action. I can't be sitting here and like, oh, is this gonna work? Oh, is that gonna work? And like at a certain point I need to take the opportunities, right? If I never take opportunities, good opportunities at least, and then always end up red, then and get some confidence and I'm just gonna keep stagnating. So I gotta start taking more action. You were red on CRE this morning too. Check the daily chart. Yeah. Yeah. Gotta get that muscle memory in. We're all learning here, so well, we're as long as we keep at it, we'll eventually get there with discipline. All right, shutting it down. Have a good day, everyone. We'll be back at it again tomorrow, 7 a.m. Eastern Time, as per usual. But until then, take care, stay green. See you guys next time.